Like to plan, design, or decorate things? Would you like to get paid to build the things people use every day? Then a career in the architecture and construction cluster may interest you. Architecture and construction workers are involved in designing, building, and maintaining homes, industrial facilities, streets, and bridges. You might create the designs or plans for new structures, or you might use the plans to build it or manage the workers on a project, or even help maintain the facilities after it's completed. There are over 80 careers across 3 different pathways in architecture and construction cluster. Those pathways include construction, design and pre-construction, maintenance and operations.
Well, as a licensed architect, the root of the job is to design buildings and environments for people. Started getting interested at a young age with puzzles, Legos, things like that. Solving puzzles is kind of what architects do. My day-to-day work is more administrative as being the president of the firm, but I still get involved in a lot of design projects. I like solving problems, I really do. But I also like working with people. We get to know our clients quite well over quite a long period of time. Some of our projects may take 4 to 5 years from concept to when the project's actually completed. But knowing that you've actually provided something that makes their job or their life more fulfilling or more productive, it really makes you feel like you've accomplished something. We work with people to help fulfill their visions for what they want their renovation or their new construction of their projects to be. Day to day can get not really ever routine. We'll work with them to find out what their goals, their aspirations, and really how they function. How are they going to function and work within their buildings? And then we'll use our ideas, our concepts to help come up with a design that'll help fulfill those goals and to meet those needs and meet the needs of the public through the requirements of the building codes and such. We do a lot of work with contractors, obviously, to make sure that the buildings are built to meet those specifications and that design. And we work with other members of the design team, our consulting engineers, whether it be civil, mechanical, electrical, structural engineers, to make sure that the design comes together as a completed project. Well, we have architects, we have designers, we have draftsmen, we have office manager, office staff, the clerical staff as well. We have project managers who are in charge of running the projects, working with the other team members, the other consulting engineers and the consultants to make sure the project comes together. The designers, as I said, simply do that. They do the designs. They'll help bring the concept forward to the owners for them to review. And then the draftsmen, they do the nuts and bolts of the drawings and the details. It is all computers now. When I started, it was a basic CAD. AutoCAD was the name brand. And there still is a lot of CAD production. Now we're moving to building information modeling, where we actually draw the building in scale to what it actually, instead of just drawing a flat plane of a plan, it is a 3D model of the building from every finish to every column and joist and roof plane and window and door are shown in the model as they would be constructed. And that's beneficial to the contractors as much as it is to the designers to make sure all the conflicts are coordinated and all the conflicts are worked out. So it is heavy in computers. Computer modeling, as I said, the renderings, the draftings, the designs are all done with the 3D programs now as well. Well, you need to be able to talk to people. You need to be able to listen to people. People think you have to be very artistic. I don't think myself very artistic, and I can't draw very well freehand, but I can visualize something and help somebody else fulfill that vision by working with them and others who are more talented than I am with drawing. So being able to visualize things in concept and then putting it to paper is a skill that's necessary. But communication in all forms, whether it be from writing or speaking, are very important. Be prepared to work some long hours with stressful deadlines many times. Be prepared to work through conflicts with resolutions with maybe design members of your same team as with contractors in the field. But be ready to listen. Listen to what people ask of you, listen to what people expect of you, and then it's going to take some hard work, but you can put that hard work, so it can be very rewarding. And I graduated with a 4-year degree, and that allowed me to go through a 5-year internship before I could sit for my architectural exam. So I graduated in 1993, and I became licensed in 2000. Because it was about a 2-year span for me to get all my tests done. Now it's a 7-year, it's a master's program to even qualify, and then you still have to take the exams. The internship program is much less than it was now, but it's going to be about the same time frame. The only ones that have to be licensed are the ones who use the title of architect. But I have 2 partners who are not licensed. I have several firm members who are on licensure path. I mean, they're going through that internship, and some who will not be licensed, and they're doing quite well as project managers. I think it's really the benefits of what's your goal. Some people think it has to do with compensation, and that may have a little bit of effect with it, but if you go into a big city and work for a large architectural firm, you actually find that the project managers outrank the architects, that they are the ones who are actually directing the architects. And with that responsibility comes more compensation. So it really is what is your goal? Do you want to be that guy who, or person, the guy or gal, who actually has the license and puts that stamp on the drawings that it's your design? Or is that your goal? If it's not, then I would not go through a licensure process. You can be very successful without being licensed. We had many all-nighters, we called them, in Design Studio. I think over one stretch through finals, I think over a 1-week period, I may have gotten 7 or 8 hours of sleep, for that whole week, because it was day and night at the studios working on the designs, and they all came due at the same time. It's not that bad when you get out in the real life, but you still have many nights where you miss dinner with the family, or you're on the road before everybody gets up to make a project that may be 3 to 4 hours away, or across the state, or you have to hit a plane to go somewhere. But when owners have deadlines because they have to meet a date for either a board meeting or an obligation from a grant, you can't be the one that misses that date. You have to fulfill that. And if it means you've got to put in the extra time, you put in the time. I should say you never expect it. Now, I'm not saying I'm at work every night till 9 o'clock, but on occasion it does happen. And you usually see it coming. But, our firm offers what we call a little flex time. We expect people to put in at least their 40 hours. But for example, today being a Friday, I think most of the firm, everybody had gone home by noon because they worked longer hours Monday through Thursday. Seeing things become nothing into something, whether they're modeling Play-Doh or clay or just freehand. I did a lot of doodling when I was in school. I didn't doodle drawings of buildings, but I just doodled what was in my head. Again, it wasn't a very good picture, but I drew it. I wanted to see what it looked like. Playing with Legos, everybody thinks, he's going to be an engineer or an architect. And could be, because engineers and architects are very similar. We're very hands-on. We're trying to build something. Engineers are usually more technical in many ways, but those are both very linear in each other in professions. If architecture is something that somebody's interested in, I'd read about it. I mean, there's a lot of good books out there that can help people understand what architects do, even on different levels of understanding and ages. But unfortunately, it's one of those professions you don't see in the movies, you don't see on the TV shows, you don't see a lot of things about. So it's kind of misunderstood in that. Yeah, there's some great buildings in Chicago. There's nice buildings in St. Louis. So Googling famous architects and buildings is a good way just to see it. Right now, the trades industry, which are the contractors, are hurting for new employees. The average age of the plumber, the concrete finisher, the bricklayers are getting up in the 50s, and there's not an age of new workers coming in. So if there's anybody out there who likes to work with their hands and has a good work ethic, I mean, these are not low-paying jobs. I mean, I'm seeing plumbers that are making 6 figures. I'm seeing bricklayers that are making $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year, plus benefits with their unions. So it's a very dignified trade, and there's going to be a lot of need for in the next couple of years. There is an association called the American Institute of Architects, the AIA. It's been around for a long time. It represents architects globally. There's a lot of information on their website about what an architect is and how to become an architect. Talks about the education process. To become a licensed architect now, you have to have a master's. So there is a significant commitment to time and resources to get to that point. If you're interested in becoming an architect, I'd say pick up the phone, find a local architect, and ask them to come in and see their office sometime. We've allowed high schoolers especially to come in and just job shadow for the day. We've had high school interns who want to be an architect worked for us, and at the time their internship was over, they decided, no, this wasn't for me. So it was a good thing for them to do before they committed themselves to college. And I think you would find most architects would welcome somebody to come in to find out more about their profession. Yeah, when we're on the site, I'm always talking to the guys who are actually doing the work. Is everything going together right? Do we need to talk about changes? Because I trust their opinions because they're the professionals who actually see it day by day and know what works and what doesn't work. And the skilled ones are in high demand right now. Rend Lake College has a very good 2-year program. As I said, we have one of my partners and 2 of the other staff are graduates from the program. And they all moved on to a 4-year program after that, and one of them went on to a master's program because of where he fell in the change in the requirements for architecture. It's a great way to get into the program. I've known several people who had a 2-year degree and went on to become professional draftsmen for not only architectural firms, but for industrial companies or manufacturers, because they also need draftsmen. I don't personally know them, but I know of a person who went on to work for Hollywood, and they basically draw set designs. And every project is a completely different environment, is what they say. So the opportunities are quite vast with a 2-year degree as well.
If you are interested in a career in architecture and construction, Rend Lake College is here to help you prepare with a variety of programs to develop the knowledge and skills needed. RLC has career technical education programs such as Architectural Technology Associate and Applied Science degree or certificate, Computer-Aided Drafting Certificate, Facility Management Associate in Applied Science, Heavy Equipment Technology Associate and Applied Science degree, Industrial Electronics and Maintenance Technician Associate in Applied Science degree, Welding Technology Associate in Applied Science degree or certificates, or transfer degree programs such as Associate of Engineering Science, Engineering Technology Associate of Science degree, Industrial Technology Associate of Science degree.